Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Hopefully you had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holiday season. Got some fun stuff to talk about today to get us started. One thing I wanted to reemphasize, I talked about this before we left for our holiday break, was the new Social Security statement. And this is a picture of that new Social Security statement where it tells folks what they would get at age 62, 63, 64, all the way down to age 70. And it's a two-pager, so it's super easy to read, super easy to follow. And I would highly recommend, if you haven't done this with your clients, take them to this site, get them registered so they can pull this down on an annual basis. Remember, well, let's see if anybody remembers. Where would we use this information with the tool we just revamped? Where would we use this information with the tool we just revamped? Yeah, that's right, Dale, with the sale. That's right, Tom, with the sale. So make sure you have your clients do this. And do you think there's people out there who don't even know that they can do this? And certainly this new format will get them excited, because then they don't have to extrapolate between years. I want to thank Lewis for this information, scientific explanation. He sent it to me a while back, but I wanted to squeeze this in. You can see the information from 2012, but it stands forever. Scientific explanation as to why people perform better after receiving a compliment. So according to Professor Sadato, to the brain, receiving a compliment is as much social reward as being rewarded money. We've been able to find scientific proof that a person performs better when they receive a social reward after completing an exercise. So where do we compliment people? Where do we tell them they're good? What have I told you that the most powerful tool we have? What's the most powerful tool we have with 5Q? If you're going to be an expert at one thing, what tool should you be an expert at with 5Q if you want to make a ton of money? I'm getting APE and GOTS, but it's only one of those that's the powerful tool. It's part of APE, it's part of GOTS, but it's only one of them that's the powerful tool. That's right, Tom, empowering. Empowering is the most powerful tool we have. Telling people that they're above average, you can turn somebody around to being your friend almost immediately. I shouldn't say almost, I'll just say immediately if you empower them. So are we flattering people when we empower them? Are we flattering people? No. We're finding one thing that we can tell them that they are above average. We're not saying that they're the best human being in the world. We're saying when it comes to one particular thing, they are above average. Now, there's 3 times we should use that empowering. One is as soon as possible in a meeting. We've got to look for the soonest possible opportunity to empower them in the meeting, because it sets the tone for the meeting that they like you. The second time you want to empower them is if they make a point you want to make for you. If they get to jump to the point before you, you got to empower them, tell them, wow, that's awesome. That you're above average. The fact that you recognize that. The third time we want to use empowering is if the meeting goes off tracks, if we accidentally make a mistake and we correct them, or they start to get irritated or whatever it may be, empowering brings them right back to our side of the table immediately. So we want to empower them as soon as the meeting as possible, when they make a point for us, and if we find the meeting's getting off track or they're getting irritated with us, it's a great way to bring them right back. So how can we get better at empowering? What should we be doing every day to get better at empowering? What should we be doing every day to get better at empowering? The 15-minute drill. That's right, 15-minute drill. Make sense? So I want to start off the year with just some cues on how we can be more successful in business and in life. We're at the beginning of 2022. We want to have the best year possible with our life and the best year possible with our business. So let's talk about some of the ways we can do that. Communication is number one. Communication is number one. I will effectively communicate with others, Why is that so important? Is it only important in business? No. Will your life get better with your wife if you communicate better? With your children if you communicate better? With your neighbors if you can communicate better? With somebody who's bugging you if you communicate better? So what determines effective communication? One is the ability to listen. 40% of it is the ability to listen. Instead, most of us, and I'm as guilty of this, or probably more guilty of this than anybody else, I'm already halfway through them saying somebody saying something, I'm already queuing up my answer. Is that the right way to communicate? Halfway through them saying something, I'm already queuing up my answer, my quick comeback, my argument, my one-upmanship. No, shut up and listen. And we all have been told this as salespeople. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should be listening twice as much as we talk. And that's what the 5 key system is. Now, when I'm with a client, guess what? I'm awesome. I'm awesome when I want to be. But is there a problem with only being awesome when you want to be? Is there a problem with only being awesome when you want to be? Heck yeah, there is. You want to be awesome all the time because it becomes part of your nature then versus some sort of performance art that you do. Make sense? The ability to respond is half as important. Half as important. And your attitude is 40%. So your attitude should be what? What do you think your attitude should be? And openness, yeah, well, you're right, Nick. Nick said someone's always watching when you're communicating, so that's absolutely right. So your attitude should be what? Open, non-judgmental. Again, I'm the pot calling the kettle black. I'm one of the most judgmental people walking this earth, and it's something I work on every single day. Your attitude should be non-judgmental. It should be open. It should be grateful that somebody's client sitting in front of you, should be open to their points of view. These are the things we need to work on to get better communication. And remember, your attitude reflects your behavior. We've all heard this. Is it a bunch of bunko that if you're sitting on the phone, they found that if you smile, what happens? If you're sitting on the phone and you smile, what happens? Or if you're depressed and you smile, what happens? You're right. On the phone, they can tell if you're smiling or not. But they've also found that if you smile, it triggers things in your brain that make you happier. Now, is that garbage or is that science, guys? That is science that actually happens. That's science that actually happens. Act now before it's too late. If you want to tell somebody that you love them, tell them today. If you're waiting to make a call to somebody that you know you should make a call, make it today. Don't wait before it's too late. Do it today. And when you say that you love them, or if you make the call now, I know that we put it off and we put it off and we put it off. But after we do it, how do we feel? We feel good. So don't delay feeling good. And you know what? If you've been putting off doing cleaning your garage, do that now. Because the more you put things off, does that actually make you feel better or worse? Makes you feel worse. Act now before it's too late to tell somebody you love them, to make the right call. You know, if you make a mistake with a client, what should you do? I'll tell you what I learned. When I made a mistake with a client, and I made plenty of mistakes with clients, well, guess what I did? Hope that it would go away on itself, or did I immediately pick up the phone, get in front of them, and fix it? Yes, always proactive. I got on the phone, I got them in front of me, and told them, here's the mistake, here's what I'm doing to fix it right away. And it made them feel better, it made me feel better. Act now before it's too late. Now remember, money is only a tool, not the end goal. We're all in business to make money. We're all in business to make money, but really, life is not about money. It's only a tool, not the end goal. And believe me, I like to make lots of money. I've made lots of good money, but it's not the most important thing in life. Because if you had a lot of money but no health, you know, when I throw my back out, how worried am I about money? What do I want more than anything in the world? Do I want $1 million or do I want to be out of pain? If you lose a loved one, do you want more money or do you want that loved one back? So money is not the thing we're looking for. It's only a tool, not the end goal. Time is the most valuable asset you don't own. You may or may not realize it yet, but how you use or don't use your time is going to be the best indication of where your future is going. If you want to have the best 2022 ever, here's what I would recommend you do. And I've done this with advisor after advisor after advisor after the last 21 years or almost 22 years now. Have them for 1 year. So start off 2022 with a tablet, a yellow pad in front of you, and write down 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at the end, and put an alarm on your iPhone, on your Apple Watch, on your Android, something. Put an alarm every single hour. And when you hit that alarm, write down what you did that hour. So at 9 o'clock, boom, I hear an alarm. I write down what I did between 8 and 9. And then at 10, I write down what I did between 10 and 9. And if you do that for a week, what are you going to find out? If you do that for a week, what are you going to find out? Every advisor I've done that has had an eye-opening experience. They find out that what? Yeah, how you spend your time, John, but that we waste how much time. And there's only one. Can we make more money? Guys, if we want, can we make more money? Yes. Can we become happier? Yes. Can we get more real estate? Yes. Can we get more fit? Yes. Well, what's one thing we can't get more of? There's only one thing we can't get more of, and that's time. Use it. And do we have unlimited amount of time? No. So use it appropriately. True happiness comes from within yourself, not from someone else. Stop searching, start living. And I love this. What show is this from? What show is this from? And it's from Monk. And Randy was this always happy guy. And Monk finally said, he was on an episode where everything was going wrong. Everything's going wrong. And Randy was still happy. And Monk said, why? How can you be this way? How can you be happy all the time? He said, a long time ago, I sat down and just wrote down that I decided to be happy. So I'm deciding to be happy. So does that have anything to do with anybody else? No. He decided to be happy. And guys, that's what you have to do. You have to decide to be happy. And when you're happy, guess what? Do good things come to happy people? Or who wants to be around a grump all the time? People want to be around happy people. So decide to be happy. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. So you got to make plans, but don't be married to them. Comfort is overrated. See, the magic happens when you're inside your comfort zone or outside of your comfort zone. It's when you're outside your comfort zone. And we hear people who say, I don't want to market. Well, if you don't want to market, what have you just done for yourself? If you're not going to market, what have you just said? I'm going to put a limit on what? Your clients just come out of the blue. They just magically rain upon you. So if you decide not to market because it costs too much or didn't work in the past, well, guys, first of all, marketing does work. It gets you in front of people. Marketing always gets you in front of people. When people say marketing doesn't work, what are they really saying? So, Jeff, when you hear somebody say marketing doesn't work, I've marketed in the past, and it just doesn't work. I spent $5,000 and I didn't get in front of anybody. I spent $3,000. I didn't close any business. What really didn't work, Jeff? Did nobody show up for the marketing?
No, generally they didn't close any cases. So people showed up.
And then they say marketing only gets me in front of unqualified people. What do they mean by unqualified people?
People who don't
want to people that weren't pre-sold.
Yeah, right.
And is there any marketing that pre-sells people?
No.
If there was, who'd be out of a job?
All of us.
All of us. And why would we all be out of a job if marketing pre-sold people?
Well, because the insurance companies and the mutual fund companies, they just go direct to people and they wouldn't need us.
Right. So marketing gets you in front of our top producers are getting in front of the same people as you're getting in front of. It's just that they're what? Selling. Guys, when I went from making $50,000 a year to making $357,000, $667,000, $1 million, when I went from making $50,000 to $1 million within 3 years, was I marketing to different people? Do you think I was marketing to different people? No. Was I using different marketing? Was I using a different flyer and a different? No. John says I was marketing to different people. No, I wasn't. No. I only had 14,000 people to market to because I marketed to retired people in a city of 100,000 people surrounded by an hour of farmland in every direction. So did I have the luxury to market to different people when I had a 14,000 people to market to? Not 40, 14,000 people to market to. Did I have the luxury of marketing to different people? No. It was the same people. It was the same flyer. Missy, was it the same flyer or a different flyer?
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I was
same
struggling
flyer or
to
different
get
flyer?
Same
Yeah.
flyer.
Different workshop, same workshop.
Same workshop.
With different venue, same venue.
Same venues.
So guys, what changed? I got in front of the same number of people. Yeah, I changed, but how did I change? Well, yeah, my attitude changed a little. That's not what changed, though. I learned, you're right, it did change, but that's not what accounted my skill set. That's right, Bob. Kevin, that's right. My ability, and Tom, my ability to ask open-ended questions, my ability to have a system that worked and follow that system, my ability to ape people, to agree with them, to parrot them, to empower them. That's what changed. My ability to close tire kickers, my ability to close plate lickers. And I quit saying these, blaming the client for me not closing the deal. Guess who I started to blame for me not closing the deal? Because when I was making 50 grand a year, I actually quit. And I said, you know what? These people here in Rochester are stupid. They're dumb as stumps. They're taking all of my information back to the guy who caused them the problem in the first place. Who was I blaming when I said that? I was blaming the client. But when I started to do motivational interviewing and listen to myself, when I listened to myself, guess who I found the problem was? The clients or me? Me. I couldn't believe I ever sold anything. I was so argumentative. I was such a know-it-all. I was constantly telling, selling, preaching, teaching, which only made people irritated with me. So the only thing that changed was me getting out of my comfort zone. Do you think me recording myself was in my comfort zone, guys? No, not even. It was, as you all that record yourself, are you in your comfort zone when you record yourself, or is it brutally honest feedback when you listen to yourself? Yeah, I got out of my comfort zone. Then I asked questions for all my life. All I did was talk, tell, sell, preach, teach. Do you think I was out of my comfort zone trying to learn how to slow down and ask questions and let the client tell me? That was, I mean, everything I did was out of my comfort zone. But when I got out of my comfort zone, what happened? 20-fold increase. What would happen in your business if you had a 20-fold increase in your income in 3 years? Where would you be? You are responsible for everything that happens in your life. Responsibility is the ability to choose your response. When you think everything is someone else's fault, you're going to suffer a lot. So that's what I did when I was making 50 grand a year. What changed is when I started to take responsibility and say, when I don't close somebody, is it because they're a tire kicker or is it because of me, guys? If I don't close somebody, is it because they're a tire kicker or because of me? It's because of me. Is it because they're a plate licker? They only came for the meal. No, that's not the problem. I am the problem. Will a tire kicker leave their current advisor if they think that advisor is taking advantage of them? Will a plate licker leave their current advisor if they think their advisor is taking advantage of them? So do we need to worry about closing plate lickers and tire kickers anymore? And when you market, you get in front of the biggest response that people have when it comes to marketing is that, you know what? All I get in front of is tire kickers and plate lickers. They're just there to eat a meal on me, or they're just there to take my information, go back to the current guy. Yes, you are 100% right. And it's your job to do what? Have them discover the guy they're working with is taking advantage of them, not because you say it, but because they say it. And when you do that, magic happens. They move their money to you. When you complain, you make yourself a victim. Leave the situation, change the situation, or accept it. All else is madness. So when somebody says that marketing doesn't work, is that complaining? When somebody says marketing doesn't work, is that complaining? Darn right it is. You're saying you're what? You're a what? Now, if you market and nobody shows up, that's marketing that doesn't work. Jeff, how often in 22 years have we had, Missy, let me ask you, how often do we have marketing where nobody shows up for the marketing?
That just does not happen.
So why then, Jeff, are people saying again, why it doesn't work.
Because they're not closing.
Yeah. But in their mind, they're thinking the people are not qualified. Don't be a victim. You can change things around for yourself. You alone get to choose what matters. The meaning of everything is the meaning you give it. Don't let people rent space in your head. Just let them go. This is a totally different topic, but guys, if somebody irritates you, if you're driving in and somebody cuts you off, you got to do what? And again, I'm the pot calling the kettle black, because I've gotten way better at this. But I used to, if somebody cut me off, guess how long that bothered me? That night, I'm still running it through my head. That son of a, you can't do that. Don't let people rent space in your head. It's hurting you, not the person who caused you the harm. Life is going by. Don't waste a minute being negative, offended, or bitter. Choose to be happy. Now, the opposite also is important. You can't make everyone happy. You're not a pizza. So is it your responsibility to make everybody happy? No, all you can do is be happy yourself. Treat everybody with respect, kindness. If that's not good enough for them, you need to what? Walk away. And I love this. This is what's in between planning for the future and dreaming, or in the present doing, just living for the day, or actually doing something. So hibernation has no goal. So low in action and low in dreaming, has no goals for the future and puts forth no effort to the present. What you want to be is aspiring, sets goals for the future, puts forth the effort and in the present to reach those goals. You can't plan forever. You got to actually then, once you have the systems in place, because I don't like goals, but I like systems. And once you have the system in place, you got to actually use the system. Build those systems, not goals. And do you want to be doing the same thing over and over and over, or do you have to have a target to shoot for? And once you have that target, what you're going to do is you're going to try, and is the first time you use a system, is it going to work perfectly? No, you're going to fail. Then you're going to listen. And what I did is I listened to my tape, said, well, that didn't work. I'm going to try something different. I tried it again. Sometimes I would fail, and I would fail, and I'd fail until I finally figured out, oh, that's working. So I've got that fixed in the meeting. Now I'm going to go back and fix the next biggest thing. For me, it was over-talking people. I talked over everybody. So that was the first thing I learned when I was listening to my tapes. The nice thing is, when I heard that and I fixed it, how often did I do that again? I did not do that again. I could recognize myself. So did I fix one problem or many problems if I was doing it 3 or 4 times a meeting? I fixed many problems, all with one fix. All with one fix. Be curious. How can I do things better? How would this thing work for me? How would this idea work for me? Be curious. And remember to take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. So take care. Get enough sleep. We're at the beginning of the year. Make some resolutions and follow through them. Get enough sleep. Don't be watching the news all the time. Put a finite amount of time that you can look at the news. Be spending that time making yourself better or happier. Get fit. Eat right. And what have they found? I just read an article. Is it more important to lose weight or be fit? More important to lose weight or be fit? Be fit, yes. They found it's twice as important to you in all sorts of levels, not one level, all sorts of levels, to be fit versus thin. So take care of yourself. Take that walk. And do they say you have to run 10 miles, or is walking an hour a day enough? Walking an hour a day is enough. 7,500 steps a day is enough. Take care of yourself and learn to say yes to attitude. So if you need more money, make more sales. If you need more money, make more sales. How do you make more sales, guys? How will you make more sales in 2022? Okay, somebody says do the 21. Get better at the process. That's what I was looking for. Get better at the process. Get better at aping. Get better at the 21-point checklist. Get better at doing the 15-minute drill every single day. Get better at the sale presentation. Get better at the FIA presentation. Get better. I feel like the entire world is against me. Guys, is the world ever against you? Does the world really care whether you exist, to be honest? No. So things that matter, things you control, what should you be focused on? The things that matter and the things you control. The things that matter that you don't control, do you get anything do you get any reward by focusing on the things that matter that you don't control? That's why I don't watch the news or try to limit my news consumption, and I constantly have to remind myself to do this. But because when you watch the news, what happens? Is it most of that? Is it anything I can control? No. So why stress? I still watch the news, but I get on my my news feed and I read it for 10 minutes and then I'm done for the day. Because spending any more time on it, is that going to help me? Because what we tend to do then is find what? Find the news that we like and really get wound up in it and our whole world starts to revolve. It's a rabbit hole. That's exactly right. It is a rabbit hole. Don't do that. Focus on the things that matter that you control. Start getting those plate lickers and tire kickers. Start closing them. Quit telling yourself that this is an analogy to the parable about a ferry driver who goes takes people from the city on the west side to the city on the east side. Takes people from the west side to the east side, and invariably he was being asked, "I'm moving over from the east side to the west side. How are those people on the west side?" And he would ask him a question. He'd say, "Well, how are the people where you live now?" If they said they're horrible people, they're nothing but takers, they're unfriendly, they're bad neighbors, what did you tell people about the people on the west side? Same, that's right. If instead they said, "Oh, the people are wonderful, they're open, they're welcoming," guess what he said about people on the west side? The same. So if you call people tire kickers and plate lickers, guess what? That's a guarantee that what? If you call people that you get in front of tire kickers and plate lickers, that's a guarantee that you're going to what? Not sell them. No business, that's right. And if you want to turn bad luck around, how do you do that? I did it by recording my meetings and taking responsibility. That's how I did it. That's how I did it. The other way that you can change bad luck into good luck is how? What's the one way that research has shown that you can change? If you think you have bad luck, that you can change your luck. That's right. More contacts, Kevin. The more and more people you know, that's right, Nick. The more people you know, the more contacts you have, the luckier you get. There will always be a reason for you to meet people. The number one reason is get in front of more people. Either you need them to change your life, or you're the one that will change theirs. The more people in front of, the more. So do I really care if you market or not? No. If you got other ways to get in front of people, guess what? If you got other ways to get in front of people, it doesn't matter. When you're at church, you should do what? Don't just talk to the same people you talk to every single time after your celebration. You should what? Meet new people. Join more groups at your church. If you're in a hockey league, adult hockey league, don't just talk to your team. Talk to what? Talk to the other team. Meet new people. You do not need to. If you don't want to spend money on marketing, see, I'm not very good at meeting people. So guess what I did? I'm not very good at meeting people. I'm shy. I am a wallflower. So guess what I did? I had to spend money to meet more people by doing marketing. That's the only way I could meet them. I'm not good at just walking up to strangers and saying, "Hey, how you doing?" But if you're not going to do that, if you're not going to spend money, then you got to do it what? Person by person by person. Whatever you do, don't get stuck on one thing that ruins your day. Smile, be grateful. Life is too short to waste, and you should always end your day with what? What should you always end your day with? Thinking about what? Always end gratitude. That's right. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Again, is that some new age thing, or is there science that backs that up? There's science that backs that up. We had a whole call on how to win friends and influence people. Guys, make it a point to constantly go back to this book throughout the year to remind yourself of stuff that you already know. You already know all the things you need to know to win friends and influence people, but we ignore it day in, day out. Go back constantly so you can get better at these skills and remind yourself. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is for all sorts of reasons, for sleep, for relaxation. You can practice gratitude by all sorts of different ways, and it gives you all sorts of benefits. Please do that. If you would, Mr. Rogers, if you could only sense how important you are to the lives of those that you meet. Guys, how important are you to the lives that you meet in your business? How many of those people realize the things that you know? How many of those people realize that you could increase the rate of return by 25% to doubling their income? How many people realize that? That you meet? How many people realize that? None. How many people realize that the market is at the highest level it's been ever with 14 different in 14 different measurements? How many people realize that? None. I mean, you know so much and help so much. How many people realize their current advisor is taking advantage of them? None. If you could only sense, and you should know how important you are to lives of those that meet, how important you can be to the people you may never even dream of. There is something of yourself that you will leave at every meeting with another person. And guys, you know what? I've listened to 3-hour meetings, 3-hour 21-point checklists with little old ladies, and how exhausted do you think they are after a 3-hour 21-point checklist after 3 hours? How exhausted do you think they are when it's done right? Yeah, they're energized. That's right. Why? They've never in their lives, in their whole entire 70-year-old life or 80 or 75-year-old life, never had somebody listen to them and what they had to say for 3 hours. They love it. So guys, you have the sense to change lives with the skills that you have. Please, please, please use 2022 to get in front of people, more people, whether it's through marketing or any other way you have to get in front of more people, and change their lives for the better. It'll change your lives for the better, change your family's lives for the better, and you're changing their lives for the better. Make sense? So we're going to keep this short today. I know that you're just back from a holiday. You guys, Happy New Year to all. We're here to help you in any way make this the most successful year ever. Thanks, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Monday.